Hi everyone, and welcome back. This is K-Drama. Here we share the stories of people in Korea, people trying to survive everything from daily struggles to depression. But these stories don't stop at Korea's borders. They speak a universal language, pain, resilience, and a quiet hope. So wherever you are, maybe you'll find your own scars reflected back. Today's story begins in the soft gray age of someone's life, a person who learned to live with depression, not defeat it. It's about small acts that kept her alive, writing, walking, feeding her dogs, and one unforgettable moment with a bowl of tteokbokki that tastes like life itself. I've lived with depression for quite a long time. After turning 20, I remember thinking for the first time, maybe I'm depressed. I went to see a doctor, took medication, but my heart always stayed gray. So I started writing, not as a doctor or therapist, but as a patient. I wanted to leave behind a record from my side of story. That blog ended up comforting many people. Some even said, I think I need to go to the hospital too. Hearing that gave them courage and me a reason to keep writing. After my book became well known, people started asking me, did you get better once you started making money? And I would smile and say, if someone breaks a leg, money doesn't make them walk again overnight. What I have is called persistent depressive disorder. It doesn't heal like a storm, but it never really leaves either. Sometimes I feel fine, and then suddenly I'm sinking again. People think depression means you can't eat, can't smile, can't live normally. But I could laugh, see friends, eat tteokbokki. They made me even more confused. Is this really depression? I wonder. That day was the worst. I really wanted to die. I had to clean everything up, ready to end it. But strangely, I got hungry. When I opened the fridge, there it was, tteokbokki, my favorite food in the world. So I texted a friend, wanna go out for tteokbokki? We went, we ate, and it was delicious. What is this? I wanna die, but this tastes amazing. People might say, if you can eat tteokbokki, you can't really be suicidal. You're just being dramatic. But no, that wasn't it. I truly wanted to die, and tteokbokki truly tasted good. That's when I realized something. Joy and despair aren't opposite. They can exist in the same space. After that day, I started trying to name my emotions. Am I really depressed right now or just tired? Have I eaten well? Have I slept well? When I stopped calling everything depression, my heart stopped collapsing so easily. And I started moving, even just taking a shower or cleaning my room, not exercise, just movement. Sleeping and walking at set times, never skipping meals, never napping too long. Those little things saved me. I'm not fully healed. Maybe I never will be. But now I know, even when I want to die, I can still eat tteokbokki. I have several dogs now. It started with one stray dog I I found on the side of the road. She was hurt and terrified. I told myself I would keep her just for a while. But I couldn't let her go. Her eyes said, "Please, don't leave me." From the moment, my life changed. The one dog had puppies, and suddenly I had a family. Those dogs carried me through my darkest days. When I was too depressed, awful thoughts came easily. But my dog would just stare at me, as if saying, "Mom, I'm here." That look, it pulled me back every time. Sometimes I would cry and fall asleep holding her. And the next morning, I had to get up because I had to take her for a walk. I would go outside, feel the sunlight, the wind, and somehow I survived another day. Without those dogs, my world would have been so much darker. Later, I wrote a book about them. Some of them have gone to heaven now, but their memory still lives inside me. If not for these dogs, I might not be here today. That's when I understood. Real healing doesn't come from words. It comes from prisons. People still ask, "So, are you cured now?" And I tell them, depression isn't black or white. It's a shade of gray. I live managing it. And my favorite line, the opposite of depression isn't happiness, it's a vitality. When I'm unwell, the world turns black and white. When I'm better, color returns. The warmth of sunlight on my hand, the steam rising from a cup, the fragile beauty of today. The hard emotions never fully disappear. The anxiety, the emptiness, the hurt. I used to want them all gone, but now I know. Like winter makes spring meaningful, darkness gives love its weight. And one final boundary I've learned: don't use illness as an excuse to run from responsibility. Is this my disorder or just my laziness? Only I can tell the difference. When life feels stable but my heart suddenly crashes, I don't punish myself anymore. I say, today is my turn to hold myself. People sometimes ask, how do you help loved ones understand? And I take out a piece of paper I carry. It lists my symptoms and habits. What happens when I think, what I need when I do. I read it aloud to those I trust. People can only understand when you tell them. Even if they don't get it perfectly, they can still feel your truth. Depression is the shadow inside me, but even shadows offer place to rest. So I keep naming what I feel, changing what I can, and collecting the small ways I survive. And there is one quote I hold on to. When I'm struggling, I'm the one who's struggling most. And that's not selfish. This story isn't just about depression. It's about learning that life doesn't need to be all light or all dark. That even in the middle of despair, something as small as tteokbokki or a dog's gaze can keep us alive. There are three key moments in our story. The day she almost ended everything, found warmth in a bowl of tteokbokki. The quiet strength of naming her emotion instead of drowning in them. The unconditional comfort of our dogs, a love that didn't need words. Because sometimes surviving isn't about feeling better, it's about staying long enough to taste something good again. This story reminds me of something I've often felt but never quite understood. When I'm really down, the kind of habit that makes me wonder what the point of anything is, I still care about my health. I still avoid junk food. I still feel guilty if I skip exercise. It always confuses me. How can I say I don't want to live and still care about keeping my body alive? For a long time, I thought maybe it wasn't real depression. Maybe I was just burned out, too exhausted from working, from trying to hold everything together. But now I see it differently. Maybe it's not about contradiction. Maybe it's a quiet sign of a survivor. Even when the mind gives up, the body still remembers, I want to stay. Psychologists call what you described persistent depressive disorder a long-term, low-level form of depression that quietly drains color from your daily life. In Korea, people often hide this kind of pain behind the word 괜찮아요. I'm okay. But what it really means is I can't talk about it. Her methods, naming emotions, keeping routines, connecting with living things, are all recognized by therapists as effective, sustainable coping strategies. They don't cure depression, but they help you remember how to live with it. If life feels heavy, don't rush to be okay. Start small, eat something warm, move your body, name what you feel. You don't need to be cured to be alive. If you have a story, pain, or memory you've carried in silence, share with us. Maybe by sharing it here, we can suffer a little less together. Remember, we're all going to die soon anyway, but until then, we are not alone.